There are many Roblox games out there that used to be super popular but have been forgotten. I'll be going over some of these and stay tuned to see if you remember any. Let's start with the first category of YouTuber games. Starting with Digito's game, Pet Battles. The game was like a mix of Pet Sim X and Pokemon. It was actually a pretty decent idea, and the map and mechanics were pretty good. It racked up an impressive 7.5 million visits, but not much active now. And it just seems like they abandoned the project. It hasn't been updated for a while now, and I haven't seen any announcements in their group, Digito's Twitter, Discord or anything talking about the future of the game. Unless I missed something. One thing I did notice is they released another game near the end of last year, so they could just be focused on other projects. Although, that other game they released doesn't seem to be doing the best too. But it still isn't beta to be fair, and it has been updated recently. So it seems like it's still being worked on. And next we have Flamingo's games. Survive the Albert Killer and also The Curse. Both these have an impressive number of visits. The Survive game has like almost 15 million and the other is almost 11. But both also only have like one person playing. Now I think it's pretty clear why these games aren't still hype. I think it's just because they weren't meant to be long-term games, if that makes sense. They were both like pop-up projects for the time being. No one was dedicated to keep updating the game and keep it alive. But what's interesting is the Survive Albert game was actually updated recently, like a month ago. So maybe this project will be revived. And also, Albert was joking about this game recently, so it could be possible. Our last YouTuber game for this segment is Megan Plays games. Overlook Bay and the other Wonderworks games. They're all not doing so well, but they were all extremely popular at one point. Like they've had massive events and stuff, and mass YouTubers always play their new releases. Trader is their biggest one, and it's basically just Among Us and Roblox. So that's probably why it died so quickly, since they're just hopping on a trend. And for the rest, it seems like people just got bored of them. They're being updated and worked on, but they still can't get many active players. But next we have a whole series actually, the entire camping series. Iconic and very popular Roblox games, but it isn't really doing well right now. And I think there's one main reason for this. Camping games are story based, so there's not much replayability in them. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the story is over, so once you play all three, there's not much to do anymore. Maybe people replay it a few times, but that's about it. There's nothing wrong with that, they were meant to convey a story and that's exactly what they did. But like I said, the only issue is there's only so much time you can play it. And while we're on the topic of classic or iconic Roblox games, next we have Hole in the Wall, an absolute classic. And I think that's exactly why it's not doing so well. It's an old game, an old concept. They've done a good job to kind of modernize it a bit, but there's only so much you can do. It still holds up a bit, getting a few hundred to almost 1,000 active, but it's just an older style, simpler game that people probably aren't as interested in anymore. Our next section is newer or current games that have been on a decline. Starting with one people always talk about, JailBreak. I mean, not really, obviously it's not his prime anymore, but the fact he can still get tens of thousands of active players is pretty impressive. But I feel like slowly over time, the game is fading away a little bit, and people are starting to get tired of it. And there's one big problem in the game right now. They fostered a lot of hackers, and the community people think is toxic. And also, a lot of people think that updates haven't brought anything new to the table. Creek actually talked about this, I'm gonna play his take on this.
I don't like, I love the game, but I don't like playing it anymore. There's just, it's too toxic, there's too many stream snipers, there's too many hackers and exploiters, it's just...
And also, JB made a good point. If you play the game for a bit, it starts to get repetitive, even with the updates. Like a lot of it is the same, you rob something, get money, buy something, and then repeat. There's a lot of repetition in the game, which is why people end up leaving it. Is the game dead? Not really. But as we can see, people who used to play the game are getting tired of it, and it's only so long until this happens to the current players too. I guess time will tell what happens to JailBreak. And Craig also brought up something pretty interesting. Playing the game as a YouTuber is hard since you get targeted, and we all know the influence YouTubers can have on a game. So if less people make content on it, that'll also impact the players. And while we're on the topic of JailBreak, all this can be applied to Mad City too, a game that I feel many people just don't talk about anymore. They too have a lot of exploiters and players ruining the game. And a lot of people see this game as a JailBreak copy, so if JailBreak is dying, I think this game will just follow, since it's in the same genre and similar gameplay. And our last games are the Raise the Floppa series, number 1 and 2. And I think with these games, people beat the game, there's not much to do anymore. Like they might come back when a new update drops, but they probably won't stay for too long. That's probably why they don't do as good now. It was very popular, a lot of people played it and probably beat it. And well, after that, there's not much to do. What games did I miss though? Let me know and check out this video, I'll see you in the next one.